Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada. And I wanted to welcome you to a sketch challenge. And so I jumped on just a minute or two early because this is the first time that I've actually streamed live to my Facebook group, my Facebook page, and also YouTube at the same time. So I wanted to make sure that it's actually working. And I think I got notified, I'm just looking, that I am live on YouTube, so that's perfect. And now the question is, am I live also on my Facebook group and page? Oh, I am there. Okay, I'm going to assume all is good. If you are live with me, please leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching through my Facebook group, you do actually have to give permission. So I'm using an application called StreamYard, and you actually have to give StreamYard permission so that I can see who's commenting. So if you'd like to do that, that's great. Otherwise, I can only see that it's a comment coming from Facebook. But once you do that, I think you're good. You don't have to do it again. So, all right, let me switch over. I'm going to do kind of I'm going to say it's a simple sketch tonight, but it's a perfect layout and sketch for using up some of your scrap pieces of paper, whether it's cardstock or designer series paper. So let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. Okay, let me see. Now this is probably a little crooked, but okay. And this may not be completely, and I realize it's maybe a bit small for you to read. I will give you the measurements, and I will also post this sketch on both my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook group and page so that you can play along afterwards. Hello. I'm not sure who that is. I can't see who it is, but I can see that there's somebody there, so that's perfect. Okay. Oh, Sandy, hi, great. Okay, so this is the sketch. So your card base is, I've cut mine 4 1/4 by 11, folded in half, but you can also cut it at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and then fold it in half that way. So up to you how you want it to lay. Layer number 1, which is the blue layer, is 4 inches by 5 1/4. Layer number 2 is the orange. It's 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Layer 3 is the yellow, which is 2 inches by 3 1/2. And then layer 4 is for your sentiment. And so mine is about 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. Actually, it might be a little bit smaller than that. I don't know. I used a label. No, maybe not. Anyway, so really you're going to adjust your sentiment piece to fit whatever sentiment that you want to use. So that's the sketch that I'm going to use tonight. Let me show you the products that I'm going to use. So I'm using the Christmas to Remember stamp set and then the seasonal label dies that go with it. This is a great set of dies. Got nice labels, got some, actually this is the, I'm getting these two mixed up. There are two that go together that are part of the Painted Christmas bundle. And I have a feeling that this set of dies goes with the other stamp set that's in the bundle, but I'm going to use it because I love the labels that are part of it. So the cool part of this set of dies is that there are, you can't see them, these little tiny ones cut slots in your labels. So there are 2 different ones, and it's great for putting ribbon through. So then the Christmas to Remember stamp set is all great sentiments and some really pretty font. This is the one I'm going to use tonight that says, "Have a holly jolly Christmas." Okay. Now, the other, I am also going to use the Sparkle of the Season because it has some great snowflakes on it. So I'm really just using that stamp. And then the paper I'm using is the Peaceful Prints, which is designer series paper, comes 12 by 12. And it is available for free with a $60 order in Canada. And it so it's part of the celebration rewards. And then the other side So it's very traditional colors. in cherry cobbler, although this goes very well with real red as well. And then the other piece that I'm actually using is this one that is the buffalo check. I hope I have it frozen. I hope I haven't. Oh, there we go. The buffalo check, tiny little buffalo check in the cherry cobbler and black. And on the other side are these great deer. Now, this deer can be punched out using the deer punch that is part of the Peaceful Deer bundle. But I'm just going to use the designer series paper. Okay, so let me bring in my supplies. Okay, so this is my card base that is, I got it basic black, and it is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and I have scored it at 5 1/2. And I'm just going to give it a good crease. Then I've got a piece. This is the Peaceful Deer, and I'm going to use the checked print on the front. So this is why this is great layout for using your designer series paper. I know we all have lots of designer series paper, and we often save it because we think it's too pretty to cut, but this is all about, let's get this on straight, using up your designer series paper. Because this is free. This one is free with the purchase, so you might as well use it up. All right, so that's my designer series paper. Now, my layer number 2 is the piece that I have cut. What did I say? 1 1/2 by 5 1/4, and I'm using the opposite side. And again, I'm just going to adhere this flat. You could decide to pop this up if you want. And I'm going to put it about 1/2 inch or so from, actually that's maybe 1/4 inch or so from the edge of my designer series paper. Like that. All right. Now I've cut a piece of basic black. This is the piece that is 2 inches by 3 1/2. And I've gone ahead, and I don't know that you can see that. Maybe. I embossed this using the Timber embossing folder. So I'm going to use dimensionals to pop this up. So you could use all sorts of things. You could use a piece of embossed cardstock for your back. You could use designer series paper like I have. You could actually use designer series paper and emboss the layer number 2. All sorts of ways. And you could use even a third piece of designer series paper if you wanted. But for mine, I've decided that I'm going to use a piece of embossed basic black. Okay, I don't know if it's freezing. I apologize if it is. And again, I don't know there. You can kind of just catch a glimpse of the timber, the embossing. Okay, now I've gone ahead and cut out, this is the smaller, there are 2 dies shaped like this, and I've cut out the smaller one of the 2. And I'm going to stamp the Have a Holly Jolly Christmas in cherry cobbler. Now I'm going to test to see how straight my label is on. Not too bad. I'll just turn it a little bit. Hopefully it'll be straight when I take that off. Oh, not too bad. Always scary. Okay, and I've got some Memento, Tuxedo Black Memento, and this is why I grabbed the Sparkle of the Season, because it has these great snowflake dies, and I'm going to stamp off, and then I just want to put some snowflakes on my label. Like that, just to give it a little bit of something more than just the sentiment on my label. Okay. The other thing I grabbed is, this is the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. And I thought that it would be pretty. Maybe I will do it like this. Fold it over like this. I'm going to have to trim this because I've got a little bit longer than I expected it to be. Right. I love this ribbon. It's just so pretty. I'm not sure you can see how gold and shimmery it actually is. So we'll just trim this a little bit. And some more dimensionals, because in reality you can't have a card too popped up. Okay, so let's make sure. And I got that. Okay, I'm gonna have to put some, because I've got this already popped up, I need to add some more dimensionals to the back of this. Otherwise it's gonna kind of be a little lower down, and I don't want that. So we'll have double dimensionals on the one end just to keep it. And that didn't work. All right, let's do this again. There we go. And in the end, I didn't need double dimensionals. I'm not sure what I'm thinking here. All right, so let's take these off and do a little bit of repair work. Peel my dimensionals off and just put single dimensionals on. I was thinking it was going to stick up more than it does, and it isn't sticking up as much as I thought. So easily fixed like this. Like that. All right, now, does it need some gilded gems? Because these are really pretty, so I think it needs a little bit more gold. You can embellish it however you want to embellish it, but there are 3 different sizes of embellishments, or 3 different sizes of the gilded gems, so we'll just use one of each. That's that. And now for the inside of the card, I've got a piece of basic white cardstock that is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I've got a piece of the designer series paper, and I'm just going to adhere it down one side. This is a great way to use up some of the strips of designer series paper that you end up with. If you're like me, I always, cut the pieces off, and then really, unless you use them up, they're going to go in the recycle bin if you're like me, because they're just little pieces. So this is a great way to fancy up your card by putting it on the inside, just so that the inside matches the outside. And I really should have stamped this before I put it down and before I adhered the designer series paper, but I'm going to stamp the 'Tis the Season. I just want to make sure that it's pretty straight. So we will stamp. Oh, can't quite get that. Okay, so it's pretty straight. All right, and then I'm going to stamp some snowflakes on the bottom corner to match the outside. So I like the black and gold. It's kind of I don't know, it's not very traditional Christmas, but I have a baseball cap that I bought at Disney World at Epcot Center when we were in Disney World, or in Orlando, for the Stampin' Up! On Stage a few years ago, and it is exactly these colors, which made me think of making this. So, all right, so that was my card. And again, this was the sketch that I used. So it's pretty close to my sketch. I will, as I said, I will post the sketch both on my YouTube channel. There'll be a link so that you can download the sketch, and also on my Facebook group and Facebook page so that you can play along. And if you are on my Facebook page, no, sorry, on my group, you will be able to share your cards. So please go out there if you're on my group and share the cards that you've made. I do a prize draw at the end of the month from everybody who has shared their cards and their projects. So let me just switch back over. So thank you very much for joining me. As I said, it's been a while since I've been able to get onto Facebook, and so it's great to be back. I will be back on Thursday night at 6:30 Pacific with a card or a project that I'll be making. And then I'll be on, I've been kind of switching, I've switched it up so that on Saturday at 2 o'clock Pacific, I'm going to do a mystery challenge. So if you're able to join me, that will be in my Facebook group. And so you can find my Facebook group, which is Create with Stamping with Melva, if you're not there already. Again, next time you come in, if you give StreamYard permission through Facebook, I'll be able to see who's making comments, because I've been getting some great comments, but I actually can't see who's making them. So anyway, thanks for joining me, everybody. Hope you have a great day, and happy stamping. Bye.